Yo, what's up guys, it's King Sean here, and in today's video, I will be talking about a number of things, mainly going to talk about the updated playoff picture in the NFC, going to give you guys a Week 15 playoff outlook for the Commanders. Also, I'll be talking about some things Dan Quinn said in his press conference, specifically things that pertain to Marshon Lattimore, and I'll also give you guys an update on Derek Carr's status for next week. So, if you guys are new to my channel, leave a like down below, subscribe, and turn on notifications. And with that out of the way, let's get straight into today's video. Alright, so obviously we're going to go over the playoff picture first. Yesterday's games were pretty solid. There were a lot of really good games, like the Vikings game. That was really big for us. We needed the Falcons to lose, and they did. The Falcons, man, they've dropped from first to second in their division, and they are now the 9th seed in the NFC, so they are currently out of the playoffs, and the Bucks have sole possession of that division right now. They are 7-6. The Falcons are 6-7. I do wonder if they lose next week, and I actually don't know who they play next week. They play the Raiders next week. They should win that game. However, if they lose to the Raiders and Kirk Cousins does not look good, then they could decide to go with Michael Penix Jr. week 17 or week 16. So, we'll see how that goes. But the Falcons losing yesterday to the Vikings was really good for us. The Rams beat the Bills, which was kind of a surprise to me. The Rams are a little inconsistent. Like 1 week, like they lost to the Dolphins a couple weeks ago on Monday Night Football, and then weeks later they beat the Bills, right? So you can say that the Rams are a little inconsistent. However, if they play like yesterday, if they play like they did yesterday for the remainder of the season, hey man, they could give us some trouble. Not gonna lie, but we're still a game ahead of them. I think we do have the better conference record than them. We have a 5-3 conference record. They have a 4-5 conference record. So as long as we have the better conference record than them, and as long as we keep winning games, then we will be ahead of them in the playoff picture, and we'll make the playoffs over them. So that's that. Obviously, the Lions and Eagles are first and second. They have both clinched playoff berths already. It will probably be the Lions who get the first seed. However, there is still a chance that the Eagles can get the first seed. But as of right now, the Lions are probably going to get the top seed in the NFC. The Seahawks are third right now. Shout out to them for beating the Cardinals yesterday, because that was huge. Helps us create some distance away from the Cardinals. So they are 6-7 now, along with the Falcons, obviously, who I just talked about. The Buccaneers, they are 7-6. They are atop of the NFC South right now. The Vikings are 11-2, 5th seed. Once again, it's crazy how the 5th seed, well, being 11-2 gets you only the 6th seed, right? Or the 5th seed. But it just tells you how good the NFC North has been this year. The Packers are 9-4. They are the 6th seed. And then obviously us, the Commanders, 8-5. They are holding on to the 7th seed right now. So this weekend, yesterday, the Sunday's games, the rooting guide went pretty well. Obviously, the Packers lost to the Lions on Thursday Night Football, which helped us. If they lose next week to the Seahawks, and if we beat the Saints next week, then we move up to the 6th seed, and they drop down to the 7th seed. So, hopefully the Seahawks can beat them next week. Obviously, like I said, the Falcons and Cardinals losing, that helps us create distance away from them. The Rams winning does suck, but the Rams, they did look really good yesterday, man. That game was awesome. The Bills' defense was awful yesterday. They could not stop that Rams offense at all. Puka Nacua went ballistic yesterday, man. It was a really good day for the Rams. But, yeah, they looked really good yesterday, and we just got to keep winning, man. Like, we just got to take care of what we can control, take care of what we can take care of, and that's ourselves. That's winning these games. We got to beat New Orleans next week, and we're going to talk about Derek Carr in just a second, because it's looking like he's going to miss our game, but we're going to talk about him in just a moment. After that, we play the Eagles, which, look, man, the Eagles literally lost, or not lost, sorry. They were going to lose the game if Xavier Legette had hands, right? If Xavier Legette had hands and was able to pull the ball down on that beautiful Bryce Young throw. Bryce Young, man, he's been awesome over the past couple of weeks. He really has, and it sucked. I'm not going to lie, I got a little mad when Leggett dropped that pass, because it would have been so funny seeing the Eagles losing to a 3-9, now 3-10 Panthers team who has been awful all year. And yeah, they played a little bit better lately. Played close against the Chiefs and the Bucks, almost beat both teams. However, that's still an inferior opponent, and you were at home, and yet you still almost let them walk into your house and beat y'all. And it took Xavier Leggett to drop a pass, and if he caught that pass, he would have rolled into the end zone. That would have been a touchdown. The Panthers kicked the extra point, 23-22. Now the Eagles have to go downfield, get in field goal range, and really there's no guarantee that they make the kick, because Jake Elliott, he has been terrible from 50-plus yard field goals. He's been terrible this season overall, right? He hasn't made a single 50-plus yarder all year long. He is 0 for 8. So they had to get super close in field goal range to send Jake Elliott out there. So if Leggett would have caught that, they probably would have lost the game. But, that's in the past, right? So, once again, the rooting guide went pretty well overall yesterday, besides the Rams, winning, obviously, which wasn't going to go perfect. I honestly knew in the back of my mind that one of these teams that we needed to lose were probably going to win their game, and it was the Rams. So, sucks right there, but is what it is. Once again, we just got to win games. Play the Saints next week. That's what I'm focused on. After that, we play the Eagles, then the Falcons, and then the Cowboys. So, once again, man, we got to win games. As for the rooting guide this week, I would say that rooting against the Rams, especially on Thursday Night Football, they play on Thursday Night Football versus the Niners. So, the Niners beating them would help us out a lot, because if we were to beat the Saints after that, we are now up 2 versus them. So, that would be really good for us. Continuing to root against the Falcons and Cardinals would be really good to create more distance. And that's really about it. And also, obviously, rooting against the Packers so they can drop a couple of the games. And maybe we can move up to the 6th seed. And then real quick, just want to talk about what DQ said about Marshon Lattimore in his press conference today. He said that last week went well for cornerback Marshon Lattimore. A lot of top speed running, hitting all the markers, very encouraged about the work he and the medical team have put in. So that is really encouraging. And by the way DQ sounded in his press conference talking about Marshon Lattimore, it feels like he's gonna play. Like, he's gonna play. I'm 99.9% sure that he's gonna play. Obviously, there's a slim chance he doesn't, but he's got a bye week, right? He got the bye week. He's had more than 4 weeks to rest, right? He's gonna play. He's gonna be ready, and I know he's gonna especially want to play in this game because he's gonna go against his former team. Making your Washington debut against the team that traded you, that is pretty cool in my opinion. So I am almost 100% certain that Marshon Lattimore will be good to go for this week. And then one more thing, Derek Carr, let me scroll down here. He has suffered a left hand injury. He suffered a fractured hand injury on, obviously, his left hand. And it won't require surgery. And he's going to be out for several weeks. He's going to be out for the season, right? Like, Darren Rizzi, the Saints head coach, he said that he's going to be out for several weeks. He's going to be week to week. He's not going to be back, right? Left hand injury, obviously his non-throwing hand, so he may be able to be back sooner, but if I had to guess, he's going to be out for the season. The Saints are 5-8. They're not going to go to the playoffs, right? There's just no chance at that anymore. There's just no point in bringing Derek Carr back and, having him potentially re-aggravating the injury. So they can say he's week to week. They can say he may return for the season, but in reality, he's going to be out for the season more likely than not. So he's not going to play against us, which is huge because the Saints' backup quarterback situation is really bad. Spencer Rattler and Jake Haener are both pretty awful, right? So we should blow them out next week, right? We should beat them by a really good amount, double-digit points at the very least. But, we'll talk about that more later this week. But just wanted to give you guys an update on Derek Carr. He's going to be out for several weeks, which includes next week when he comes to play us, or when we come to play the Saints in New Orleans. So that is it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like down below, subscribe, and turn on notifications. And other than that, it's been King Sean, and I'm out. Peace.